What's up, everybody? It's LG Doucette here, and this is Wednesday, July 2nd. You're watching Milk Road Degen live all across the world, specifically on YouTube. Today, we're going to look at two previews of tools. One of them that's kind of live, and I'm going to share with you a little code to get in. And the other one that was just kind of announced in the last couple of weeks that promises to kind of create some chaos in the trenches. It's not really a tool. It's more of a launch platform. And then we're going to look at one of our all-time favorite tokens on the show that is making the most insane comeback, unprecedented comeback. And then we're going to look at tokens that I'm looking for an entry for, because bad news, so sad. LG is going to be off for another week and a half starting tomorrow. Sorry, but I got to take some time off when it's hot. I don't care for the middle bull market, man. You got to recharge those batteries, and that is what LG is going to do. Before we start, go on over to YouTube, subscribe to all these beautiful thumbnails, useless to $1 billion. That's one of the streams you could have watched. We're posting these every single day and streaming live on YouTube, so you can go catch those and play them back and watch them. They got timestamps, they got everything you need. So make sure you subscribe to Milk Road Degen on YouTube. And as usual, nothing on the show is financial advice. Okay, all these are going to zero eventually. Some of them tomorrow, some of them in a couple years, maybe sooner than that. So don't get too excited. Okay, just decide things entirely on your own. So let's look at a portfolio tool that has been making the rounds. It's called Cerebro. Great name. Shout out X-Men, Professor X, Patrick Stewart. I don't know why I think of Patrick Stewart, but I do. So these guys are a little, not a little, I guess what you call smart portfolio. There's a lot of people have been asking, how do I track my portfolio across chains? And I haven't tested this across chains. I've only tested on EVM. But this does the same thing that most of the other ones do, like Zerion or Rabbi or whatever. It tells you here. I put one of my wallets in. I put my Hyperliquid farming wallet in here. It tells you, gives you a list of your assets. Like here's all the stuff that you have. That's pretty normal. It gives you a portfolio percentage. We know that. It gives you a little category, which is helpful. It gives you a dashboard, but most importantly, it gives you a risk level. Okay, so it tells you, hey, do you have a risky portfolio? Are you holding stables and majors, or do you have a bunch of weird shit? And apparently, my risk level is 6, despite this wallet being like mainly stable coins on Hyperliquid, which you can see right here. It's a bit of hype, but it's like, what is that? Freaking 60% in stables on this wallet, and yet they think, hey, you have too much. And only 3,000 stable assets, which is untrue. So I guess this thing is not very good at recognizing stable coins on Hyperliquid, or it considers Hyperliquid stable coins to be risky, which I wouldn't disagree with. Okay, so anyways, this thing gives you a handy little portfolio tracker, or risk level assessment. I only just put in my wallet yesterday, so it has not started to track my performance, which is it promises to do. It shows you your protocols that you're in, assets, like I said, wallets. You can input up to 3 of them, which is nice. It gives you a little profile here, and then it has its own kind of AI chatbot, ChatGPT kind of thing. Let's see, history, portfolios, risks. Anyways, so what you can do in here is you can put things in like, how did my portfolio perform against BTC? Which I'm sure you can ask this thing basically anything. You probably have to be really simple with your prompts, but you can just ask it, how's my portfolio doing? And the unfortunate part is that this Cerebro only tracks your data starting from the start, like from when you first enter your wallets. It doesn't backdate it, which is kind of disappointing. Maybe they'll eventually do that. But you can see we only have 1 day of your portfolio history so far. And that the Bitcoin price has barely changed in that time. So I'm going to come back to see this after maybe a month or 2 and kind of check it out. I do like the idea of more dynamic portfolio tracking, so I think that's very important. The most bullish part of Cerebro, and the only reason I'm talking about it, because there are probably a lot of other tools like this, is that they are planning to integrate with Ethos. So Ethos, if you don't know what it is, this is probably one of the things you should be the most bullish on, and you should absolutely be begging everyone you know for an invite code. This is basically a reputation tracker, and if you follow LG and you watch the streams, you can see that on every little ticker of people that I look at, there's a little reputation score here, and that's because I use the Ethos plugin. LG's reputation almost 1,600, almost getting there. People like LG, it's pretty good. But there's a lot of cool things you can do on Ethos. It's becoming the darling of KOLs and a lot of different, it's being integrated with a lot of different stuff. It has a lot of different features. You can even see leaderboards. It'll tell you who the most reputable streamers are, alpha callers, marketers, angel investors. They're putting in so many different kind of cool features and really starting to give some of that depth to the space where you can get a better sense of who's trustworthy, trust being the most valuable resource in the space. So these guys are planning to integrate with Ethos. Silent Mode here had a really good bullish tweet on it that I'll share on the write-up. But basically, it gives you a risk level. And they collaborated with Ethos for the go-to-market, which I'm not really sure what that means. But anyways, so keen to find out where Cerebro keeps going. It's developed by this guy, Maverick23 NFT. Don't know who that is. Don't follow him. Never heard of him. But seems to be very reputable. 1948. That's kind of I base a lot of my stuff these days. So yeah, that's Cerebro. Seems to be doing well. Let's move on to, oh no, we got the ASSDAQ tweet first before we get to ASSDAQ. Oh shit, I gave you a preview of the rest of the episode. I've been looking at this Melee Markets tool. It just announced the other day, so there isn't really even any info. They said you can join their Telegram to get in, but basically what these guys are promising is to be a pump.fun meets Poly Market, saying that they asked themselves a question: what if we made predictions as exciting as meme tokens, and that they created a new primitive that solves key flaws in both prediction markets and token launch pads, that basically anybody lets you make a market. Markets have the same uncapped upside of meme tokens, which I guess Poly Market, you have to choose an outcome, and it's kind of capped at the multiplier of that outcome, right? So if you're buying something at 2%, your max multiplier is 50. And that these guys are promising that it's fair launches, so no rugs, dumping, or bag holders, which is very interesting. Basically promising that things are going to be up only, which I think is a bit much to promise before you even have a product, but that's what these guys are saying. That's what they're saying is gonna go down on their channels. You can join their Telegram group, and you can also head to the website and sign up, connect your X, and sign up for a waitlist. I'm keen to see what this is. I've seen some big names kind of poking around in the comments, asking questions. So we'll see. Always keen. I feel like Pump Up Fun is a very saturated market, but anybody bringing new ideas to that style and to those trenches, always welcomed in my books. I'll probably send them a DM and ask them if we can get an exclusive preview on the show when I'm back, if they haven't launched by then. Okay, let's get to the real meat and potatoes of the show, because all this is fun talking about tools and protocols and pump funds, but really what we want to talk about is ASSDAQ, our old friend ASSDAQ that we caught early and rode all the way to almost $8 million, and then it slowly died this terrible, terrible death. Look at this, June 21st. Our poor little ASSDAQ was at $500,000. Now, look at these last 3 days. Look at this, out of nowhere on June 30th. Boom, 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 boom. Might do more volume today, and even this morning. Look at that, very early this morning. This thing went all the way up to $5 million, which is absolutely berserk. This thing breaking through every resistance level that has existed over the last couple of weeks. Look at this. I can't believe that thing broke up. So now it's new floor, its new bottom here should be around this mark right now, 3.4. So if you think ASSDAQ still has some narratives behind it, this might be a good time to get in. Let's do a bit more TA on our daily here. Let's see. So it kind of bounced this 5 million. So looks like ASSDAQ, hopefully, if it can sustain this volume, might be bouncing between the $3.5 and $5 million mark for a little bit, which is very exciting. I really didn't think it was going to come back. I tweeted about the comeback yesterday. All the ASSDAQ people showed up in the comments. 63 likes. What's up? Shout out ASSDAQ people. I actually can't believe this thing's back, man. That's absolutely berserk to me. We're going to keep watching ASSDAQ. I'll continue to be the leading ASSDAQ influencer inadvertently. For the foreseeable future, now that it's back. We always believed, baby. We always believed that ASSDAQ could make its comeback. Well, welcome back, ASSDAQ. So, as I told you guys, let's slow it down for a second. LG talks very fast on the show. Take a sip. The next 7 shows, the next 7 business days, there will be no show. There will be no stream. It's very sad. LG is going to go recharge his batteries. It's been a very fun quarter. I think this episode number 49, not number 50, but number 49. It's been a very fun quarter launching this channel, launching the show, doing this every single morning. It's very stressful. Despite us just, besides just, I don't know, you're probably thinking, how is it stressful? All you do is open the ASSDAQ chart and talk about it. But it's not easy. It's a lot of pressure doing this. We've launched a newsletter, 2 newsletters coming out every week. We've launched the YouTube channel. We've launched the Twitter account. And we have a lot more coming on July 14th. We are launching Milk Road Degen. Along with we were selling a larger bundle with Milk Road last week, where you could get it on all 3 channels, Macro, Degen, and Milk Road Pro, for just $25. That price has gone up to $100 now. Sorry. but I think it's going to be worth it. Been preparing behind the scenes, a lot of different content, including, and this is for the pro people only. If you signed up for Milk Road Degen Pro, you will get a private chat with me in the pro chat, Degen Zone it's called. So where you can ask me any question and where I dish out more commentary, you could say. I'm going to be putting out a weekly trade journal, right? That's going to come out right now. We have 2 free newsletters. This is going to be a paid one. We're going to detail a lot more like what I'm actually buying and selling, which I don't really do on the show. And we're also going to be doing an AMA every 2 weeks where we actually chat. I analyze your portfolio, ask me any questions. We kind of go over what's going on in the trenches. And I think a few other things that are actually going down too, which is going to be super fun. So a lot going on. Milk Road Pro Degen or Milk Road Degen Pro. And before we start that, I'm going to take a little bit of time off. While I'm off, I am going to be checking it, and I am going to be looking for entry on some of the coins that are going completely berserk. We should have done this a couple of days ago. We should have gone for this entry a couple of days ago. But there are a few tokens out there that are consistently at the top of the charts that right now, well, I think we're still in the market. We might still be at a bit of a chop zone. I'm looking for entries because I really like how these tokens are bouncing. They bounce with volume. And I think if you're looking to pick up a bit of extra cash like I am, I think swing trading these is not a bad idea. You can get totally crunched. You get totally annihilated swing trading. But swing trading is not about trying to make 3, 4, 10x. It's about trying to make like 20, 30%. And that's what I'm going to be doing while I'm away, setting little buy limits and coming back to them. So I'm going to go through 5 different tokens really quick that I think are worth it. First one is Startup. And if you read the newsletter last Wednesday about Launchcoin tokens, where it was kind of dead, but the Launchcoin tokens might be coming back, you would have read about Startup, the meme play on Launchcoin, which is now up 4x from when we mentioned it. Okay, so even LG didn't buy this one. LG didn't read his own newsletter and get excited about it. But here we are. What day was this? What day was this call? What day was this newsletter? Let's go take a look. June 25th. June 25th. So that was right here. June 25th. And since then, 5 straight just absolutely berserk green candles blasting through its all-time high, or right back at its all-time high now. So I don't know. I hope that Startup pushes through, but I think we're going to see a come down. This thing sat in the doldrums down here for a long time. I could easily see it coming back to the same entry, if not maybe around here. So I'm going to put an entry, and doing this kind of swing trading, you got to stay very disciplined. You got to set your entry and not mess around with it, no matter what happens to the token. We got burned. That strategy didn't work on Useless, which we'll cover in a second, but it doesn't mean you should change the strategy just because it doesn't work. These are meme coins. They're shit coins. You can't get too excited. You can't compare this to traditional crypto. So I think there's a few entry points at the old kind of resistance and floor barriers. I think maybe around 25. I'd say definitely around like 15. So I'm going to look at Startup coming back down to those levels, somewhere in that range, 15. Let's just call it 15 to 25. If Startup does come back down to that, I'm going to look for it. If it breaks beyond this all-time high, it's kind of bouncing right off of it right now and goes to like 45 or 50 million, then I'm going to look for a completely different entry at that point. Probably going to look for an entry back at 42. That's usually how these things work. Next one, it's parent company, Launchcoin. So this one has a pretty bad reputation. If you go over to Ethos and you look up Launchcoin or the Believe ecosystem, people hate this thing. Okay, but don't... Okay, still can't search. Still some bugs to work out there. Ethos people. Anyways, people hate Ethos, or people hate. No, people. I like Ethos. People hate Believe. I think it's here. Where is that? Where? There you are. There you are. Oh yeah, you can also. I don't want to click on Yeet. God damn. So what's actually cool on Ethos, just a quick divergence, is that they actually have like a listings page where you can upvote and downvote projects once a month. And giving your general opinion on them. So Believe is only ranking it at 5% right now. And it's actually, this is a good place to look for other projects that people are bullish on. So you can see that Ethos, Mega ETH, Infinex, Abstracts, Async, Time.Fund, all ranking high bullishness versus things like Yeet and Monad not doing so well. Anyways, back to Launchcoin. Let's ignore some of the FUD. I think that there's probably like a bit of a floor that's been touched or kissed a few times here around like 87 to 90. Lower highs though, so that is not very good. You can kind of see this God, I'm so bad at TA, or at least no, I don't want that. I don't want that one. God, everyone's gonna laugh at me. Okay, here we go. You know, a little wedge down there. So this is kind of coming down. So I'm definitely watching Launchcoin. I think it needs to do a lot of work. It's definitely like showing lower highs. But I also feel like Launchcoin has a lot more in the works. I don't think it's completely dead yet. It's still showing incredibly good volume, even on the sell days. So I'm looking for entries around like sub 90 million, but also watching for volume. If that volume's low at sub 90, then I'm not getting in. But if it does come back, I think even just swing trading at 90 to 130, if it can chop in that zone, I think that's not bad, right? Like that's like a 35%, 40% come up, right? And even if you're only betting $200 or $2,000 or whatever it is, like cash is cash, man. These things I find these things are kind of easy, not easy, but can be easy to look at. So that's Launchcoin. Let's look at the big kahuna real quick. Useless, which a couple days ago I said let's look for an entry around 40 million. That was comical. I've really underestimated this thing so far, even though I've said this is the coin that's going to $1 billion anyways, without a doubt. And I think that's still without a doubt. I think accumulating now is a good idea. I think I could see it coming back down to 140. It even came back down to maybe it's the resistance level from yesterday, so around 180. So I'd say anything touching 180, I'd be into it. Touching 135 or 140, I'd be into it. I do think before this thing gets to $1 billion, it needs some big pullbacks. It did just touch like freaking an unbelievable level just a couple minutes ago. It went all the way up. Let's go to the hourly chart. This thing went absolutely ballistic all the way up to it touched 270 just a couple minutes ago. So that's kind of nuts. On the hourly chart, you can see these kind of levels are still kind of similar to what I was just pointing out. So anywhere below 180, I'd buy. Anything all the way down to 140, I'd buy. The volume is still absolutely fantastic on this token. A lot of big green bars. So good luck to the useless people. Hope we go to the moon. Vader is another one where since its recovery. So now we're going to switch over to base really quick. Vader, since its recovery from kind of the virtuals, the fake death rally, basically, since it was down at 4 million, which is where I sold it, we can see higher lows, right? And these are simple. These meme coins, even the AI ones, are very simple. Vader is going to be very much part of the ACP protocol, which is launching very soon on virtuals. I think it was supposed to launch this week, but has not yet. But showing some really, really strong levels here from, oh God, always the wrong fucking chart thing. Showing some very good resistance here, so on a nice little upward trajectory, kind of hitting a bit of a wall here at like 65 or so, but I could see this thing. That's maybe even on the announcement, although the announcement could be priced in, which I think is very likely because I don't think there's that many people who want to buy Vader, even though it's 222,000 holders. Are you fucking serious? Wow, a lot of people like this token. I think there's a bit of a ceiling here at 63. So I think even now around 42, it was dipping down to 37, 36. I think anywhere around here, even now, is probably a pretty good entry. If it breaks below this yellow or it breaks below maybe even here 27, then we're in trouble. But I think virtual is going to do well. I think it's going to keep doing well. So I'd buy it all the way down to that. And I'd probably swing traded sell around like 63, 64. Last one is Banker. Very similar chart here. This looks almost identical to the Vader chart, just without that huge death and a much lighter death, you could say. But Banker is something that it's like these guys have been working so hard. This chart is beautiful, honestly. This is the kind of token you want to get into, man. This thing, every time it comes back down, it does not go nearly as low as it did before. So that is a really nice line. It's going to need to blow past that $45 million with volume if it really wants to kind of like pull through. But oh God, no, that's not what I want, man. I suck at this TA shit. Come on. There we go. But this thing forming a nice, whatever you call that, I think if it can get past that 45 million with some volume, we're in business. But I would also buy it anywhere on the dips, anywhere down, all the way down to on this line, anywhere like sub 30, I would absolutely buy this thing. My only issue with it is that the volume is not great. The volume it's been kind of consistent, but also been kind of slow. So Banker, very much under the radar, a dev that loves to ship, but the volume probably the lowest out of everything we've seen. But maybe it's just waiting for some kind of catalyst. Maybe the people accumulating know something that we don't. So we'll find out soon. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to see you guys back in 2 weeks, July 14th. We'll be right back here on Milk Road Degen. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Watch, if you get lonely, watch back the old episodes, and I'll see you guys then. We'll be back with a lot more good stuff for the second half of the year.